Hey guys, welcome to the garden channel. We got a lot to cover in here. We're going to be chopping this girl down. Before we do that, I'm going to give you an overlook at the canopy. Look some trichomes, see how you guys look at it and like it. It's a beautiful plant, self-training plant. This is the 5th dimension from AWKID. This is about 10 weeks flowering time, and we had a 2-month veg. And this is a 19 by 19 by 18 grassroots hobby bed. Comes with a scrog and everything. So 3x3 tent, completely fill it out with a 2-month veg. And after we chop this down, we're gonna do a quick re-amend of my top 3 sources that I use. We just use castings, we use some build-a-flower compost, and we use the craft blend. And that's it. And I'm gonna show you that. We're gonna chop this at the lowest part on this stock. We'll plant right next to it. We got a clone here. Goat's genetics, and she's not very happy. Traveled a lot for work, so it's hard to keep up on watering and feeding on this. So I'm glad to finally get these out of the 1 gallon. The smaller the pots, the harder it is to keep up on watering and nutrition. So the earlier you can transplant, the better. But we thought these were going to flower a little bit sooner and finish sooner, but they didn't. So you always want to plan ahead. We don't have mulch like I usually like to use, but we're just going to show you the quick basics of how I re-amend my garden, and it's going to crush it for the whole next run with this Goat's Breath. This is Jet Ski and Zope. Go check out Goat Genetics. Really good dude. Met him in Illinois. Big breeder guy. And he's got really good genetics. So I'm excited to try these. So let's go ahead and chop this brute down. All right, let's show you this girl before we chop it. Now, the top colas aren't as big as one would like. Now, we were trying to show on this channel that lazy gardening can get you still amazing yields, and you could see that, amazing yields. We could have got down in here and did a lot of defoliation, and that would have allowed for these other nodes to be able to work and get all the nutrition and water that they need, rather than skip all these nodes to feed the top. So we're going to cover that next season. We're going to do hardcore training, but this was just my idea of showing you guys how you can grow amazing yields in organic soil and do hands off to little to none. So this is really exciting. Like I said, 10-week flower, a lot of funk coming off here. We got like a gas with a little bit of like fermented fruit on here. So she's definitely funky. She's definitely frosty. I'm really excited, and I know we're not supposed to be touching these nugs, but oh, she's so sticky, and I wanted to show you how beautiful they really look. So 3x3 tent, real simple, less than 30 gallons of soil, about 3.5 cubic foot of soil. We're going to show you how we cut this down, plant right next to it, re-amend it, the whole 9, so stay tuned, Romies. All right, we got our fiskers here. Let's chop her down. Normally I'd have a scrog screen on here, but this trained itself so well with just some bud clips and some super cropping. So normally we'd go through and we'd cut that net out. And on our next harvest, you'll see we got scrog nets and everything, how we kind of cut that out and get it out of the way. But this one's got none, and the canopy was so even. If you don't want to train and you want a hands-off cultivar, go AWKID's 5th dimension, amazing, amazing. And the stock on this is huge. I'll show you guys. Get down there as low as you can. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can get her out of this thing here. Oh, yeah. She's a monster. For a 3x3 tank, not too bad. Look at the stock on her. You can see the bud training, the bends, the weaves, how everything kind of worked together, creating new tops. Very excited. Very, very cool, guys. So we'll go ahead, we'll hang this up. We're going to hang it up at a 60-degree Fahrenheit, 60% humidity. We usually get about 2.5 weeks of the dry time. Throw in some jars, cure it up, and she'll be ready to smoke. We'll be definitely talking about the smoke when these get all done. And let's go ahead and do the re-amend now. Real simple process. Cut your plant down, hang it in your good dry environment. Throw your few ingredients in there, and you're off to the races. All right, Gromies, got her all harvested up, hung up. So now we're re-amending this bed. So what I got here is this is just some build-a-flower compost, and this is an 8-cup measuring cup. By no means does it need to be 8 cups. I just fill this up, and on the smaller bed, you pretty much want an inch or so, inch or 2 layer of your compost and your casting. That's what I kind of like to go by. None of this stuff needs measured. That's what's really fun about organics is, for the most part, a little bit goes a long way. You really can't overdo it unless you're really overthinking things. But like I said, just 8 cups of the compost. We're just going to dump it right in here and we'll spread it around. This right here is the craft blend. It's about a cup, half a cup to 1 cup per cubic foot of soil. This is 3.5 cubic foot when it's full. So we're down a little bit. So we'll call it 3 cubic foot. So we got about 3 cups of craft blend. We're just dumping it in there. You can move your eco wet here. We'll talk about that water sensor in a little bit in the new 5x5 we're starting up. And then we got our castings here. I'm going to kind of wait to put the castings in, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing that. So we're just going to move this around in here. You got bigger clumps of the compost, break it up a little bit. It's just easier to break down the smaller particles that they are. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Break it up, and then you're just kind of slowly tilling this in the soil. Just a few inches down. I like to push a little bit against my beds, kind of fill them voids of just the soil and the roots, you know, becoming one, so the water's not just flowing down the sides. So I kind of push this up a little bit, get some of that old soil to go down there. Now this is only its second cycle, so we just now grew the AWKID 5th dimension in here, so that was its first run, and that was 3.0 soil. So now we're re-amending this. So you're only really re-amending the top few inches of your soil. We're not trying to till a bunch up here. You're going to have gnats in your soil. When you start growing organic and you get into the compost and stuff, until that ecosystem and those microbes build that balance and you get this, you know, soil food web, the gnats are going to be out here. But don't worry about them. It's not a big deal. They eventually will balance themselves out to where they're not even, you won't even see them flying around. One or two here and there, but that's good. That means you got good compost. Everything in here is doing really good. So we mix that in. Pretty good for the most part. Now see, we got this big old root mass here. Now normally we would no-till this, but with us having this bigger 1 gallon in here, I think we're going to pull it out. So I'm not very happy about that. Man, she's in there tight. We could just plant next to it. That's what we're going to do. I don't like pulling them big root masses out. You're going to tear a little bit of roots in here. It's not the end of the world, and we got good roots in here. That AWKID crushed it. So you can see we got the other stock in here. I don't like to pull that out because there's root paths are creating pathways for your water, for your microbes, for your worms, everything to flow through. So we'll just dig out right next to it, and we'll just scrog her back a little bit. So you can see we got a lot of pumice in here, a lot of rice holes. Stuff's not breaking down. This soil is going to last you a long, long time, especially when it comes to the minerals. So we got our clone here, Goat's Genetics clone in a 1 gallon. Take your tie off there, so you kind of put it off to the side, or you can keep it on there. It does not matter. And then we're just going to squeeze this a little bit. Oh, look at that roots. That's root-wise, biology by root-wise. I love putting root-wise into my seedlings. I like putting them into the clones. It's just a very, very good biology, a lot of enzymes, a lot of really good stuff in there. So that's a little high. So we're going to go ahead and dig a little bit more out here. And that's why I don't really like to go from 1 gallons. It's just so much more soil you got to move and disturb. I like to go into the bud cups. It's that solo cup size, so you're only disrupting a little small part. Now you could go directly sow your seeds in here, but if you've been following along, you know that there's so much life in the soil with them being so small and not as hardy. The life in here, the microbes, the mites, everything, they're going to feed on that seed more than likely. So be very careful if you're going to direct sow your seeds in here. Maybe dig a spot out and put some, you know, some inert soil in there, just like a good 1 gallon or so around. That way you not have that active biology soil. You just got some inert. You can plant your seed in there, but I don't really recommend that. So that's it. Easy peasy. She's planted, ready to go. Normally we would put mulch on here, but I forgot it. But that's no big deal. Sometimes you just got to go. The garden can't wait, especially if you're growing in a perpetual garden. So I got about 1 gallon of castings here. I'm just going to throw those on top, and it's going to act like my mulch for now. And we'll get mulch on here because I really love crabble crap. I really love mulch, protecting that soil, creating that even moisture. So we're just going to shake that in just a little bit. So you can see that 1 gallon was pretty much 1 inch of coverage throughout my whole soil. So just think about that, whatever size bed you're in. Think about how much it's going to take just to cover that 1 to 2 inches. And you can leave it on top or you can wiggle it in. And we've had amazing success re-amending this way. We've been re-amending this way for 2.5 years, the build a soil way, and it just crushes absolutely every time. It doesn't feel like you're putting a lot in there, but it really is, and especially when you're running no-till. You're not disrupting the fungal fungal webs, you're not disrupting the bacteria. Everything is creating this own balanced, diverse soil food web that's allowing everything for the roots to feed the plant. Everything's going to break down and be available to the plant when the plant's available, ready for it to be available, and seek it out. We're not force feeding anything. So we're just being good stewards of the plants. So that's it, Gromies. She's planted. We're going to go ahead and we'll train these down a little bit, I think. I'm going to leave them alone. We just transplanted them. Don't want to piss them off. They were underfed. They were underwatered. So we'll leave them alone, and then we'll come in here and clean this up and bend this down. So let's go ahead and let's check out the new 5x5, which is really awesome. We got 100 gallons, and we got about 50 gallons of old soil in there that we're going to re-amend the same way and kind of walk you through the setup of a new 5x5. So let's go check it out. All right, this is the new 5x5. Well, it's not new. We used to grow in it before. This was the seedsman tent, and then we were blessed to get the new 8x8s and the 4x4s, 3x3s. So now we got all different sizes of types to help the new gardener get into growing. If you can only get a 3x3, if you only have room for it, or if you want to get the 8x8, or now we got the 5x5. So this is a big part in the step of the living soil way, is not throwing your soil away. So I could have thrown, this is like 60 gallons of soil that I could have thrown away, but we saved it, we kept it in the garage, and I got about 40 more gallons in the garage I need to bring in here. We're gonna get this moistened up, get this active, biology active, get some worms in here, get this moisture perfect. And to help me do that is an EcoWet sensor. You can get these off of Amazon. It's the WH51 sensor. I have them in all my beds. It's just a 6-inch knife that records back to your phone and is a very, very good cheater, especially if you travel, you can't be home as much, and you need to have the significant other water. They can use that app together, and you can learn how to water. So we're not gonna re-amend this today. Like I said, we gotta get more soil in here, but I just wanted to show you that you can grow so many different types of ways. Just don't throw your soil away. We can get re-amended the right way. They have kits to re-amend it, to eradicate certain things if it's not the best soil. But this is Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil. We got Roots Organic soil in here. There might be a little bit of Builder Soil Light in here from cloning and male seedlings that we dumped in here. You can see we actually got roots and a stock in here that's just breaking down. Even without all of the perfect moisture, there's still biology, there's still bacteria, and microbes are still breaking stuff down. And that's the idea of this, is reusing and being regenerative as possible. You saw on the hobby bed where we just added about a gallon of castings, 3 cups of craft blend, and 8 cups of the Build-A-Flower compost, and that's going to go until next harvest. We won't do anything. We may add some ferments in there just to get that lactic acid bacteria in there, just that diversity. But you by no means need to. Like I said, we're hands off. We're lazy gardeners, so we're keeping the soil. We're running the Branson's Royal Revenge from AWKID in here. Very excited. We're getting sponsored by AC Infinity. They're going to send the new Evo 10, so we're going to have plenty of lights in here. We're going to be scrogging this whole tent out, one plant in the 100 gallons of soil. So I'm really excited, Gromies. That's pretty much it for now. If you want to stick around, we're going to do a garden update of the 8x8 and the 4x4, kind of talk about what we got going on in there. But until next time, I think we're going to get this up and going soon. We'll check out and see how that clone's doing. And if you want up-to-date stories and posts, check out my Instagram at cannabisloop.com. We're really active on there. So we like to keep this education going, keep the biology and everything. Just keep on moving, guys. Keep on going. So I'm really excited to get this going. Let's go ahead and check out the other tents. So we did the re-amend. We talked about the new 5x5. This is the 4x4 from VivoSun, 300 watts of lights. This is week 6, creeping into week 7 of flower with the GG4 sherbet from Fast Buds. She's looking really good. We just let her go. We stopped defoliating, and you can see we're still going to get amazing colas. We've got some really good stacking going in here. We got a lot of citrus in here, a little bit of earth, but mostly we just got that fruity funk coming in, and she's doing really amazing. I think the side lighting the under canopy lighting is doing a little bit more for our under canopy nodes. So you can see they're not going to be massive, but we still got stacking going down under here without very little light. So I think it's going to be worth its while to get these, try it out, see if it's worth it. And, you know, this canopy is really thick. We could have cleaned it up quite a bit, but we wanted to show you the hands-off gardening way. And you can see hands-off, you're still going to get amazing yields on these plants if you just have good re-amended soil, good moisture, good genetics, good environment, and she is going to crush it. So week 7 of flower, I'm hoping these finish around 9 or 10 weeks so we can get these cured up, dried up, and get them smoking. So let's check out this 8x8 here. We'll go over here to the Ricky's hash plant because she is a stretcher. This is about a 2-foot cola here that is just slowly starting to connect her way. So hopefully they just keep chunking up, keep connecting. We got a lot of fuel off of this girl right now, a lot of earth. And she's real young. This is only week 5 of flower, creeping into week 6. So she's still stacking. She's done stretching, but everything's looking really good. One plant in here, Gromies. One plant, and it's just blown up in the 3x3 bed. Very, very good soil. We're growing. This is like its 6th or 7th cycle on here. So we're just re-amending it like we talked about. We even got some colas starting to droop. You could tie these up, but the yield's going to be amazing. Hands off. That's what we're trying to do here. Lazy gardening. Over here, Magic Candy Mountain OG. You could see she needs a huge haircut, but we're not going to do it. We're going to let her go. We're just going to show you that you can just set it, forget it. That's what we're about. And you can still get amazing yields. We're starting to get a little bit of pistils turning over here. This is coming with, ooh, this is fruity too. We got some fruit coming off of this too. Oh yeah. Starting to develop a little bit of frost in there. Looking really good, guys. These are both 3x3 beds here, 70 gallons of soil. We got about 1,500 watts of lights going right now. We're about 900 ppfd, 78 degrees, 55% humidity. We're going to drop that down to 50 this week. Back here to the tray to grow. She doesn't have as much light as she would like, but she's still doing her thing. Beautiful, beautiful plant, beautiful plant. This is just a bottom wicking system. We've talked about it. You just fill this reservoir and it's going to feed, and the roots are going to wick this up and just let her go. That's what I love about it, Gromies. Just set it and forget it. And I'm going to keep saying it because that's what it's about. We all got shit to do. We all got families. Why not just throw some genetics in the soil, re-amend it, and then get the fruits of your labor? Because my goodness, Gromies, we're going to have to invite you guys some over here to smoke some of this, because it's just, I've never had this big of a jungle before, and it is just massive and it's so cool. And I want you guys to get involved, get started. It costs a little money getting it started, but the investment is totally worth your while. So that's it, Gromies. The Gigi for Sherbet, week 6, 7 of flower. She's going to be stacking. We'll keep you updated on these colors. Always check out the Instagram. Always check out our shorts. We do like to do some shorts here and there, but beautiful. Still early. This is going to be huge. We're only week 5, creeping into week 6 flower. So we're talking 4 or 5 more weeks of just stacking, ripening, getting funky. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff, Gromies. Love it, love it, love it. So we got our clone in there, ready to go. We're going to let her chill. We'll train her out a little bit. And then back over here, the 5x5 like we talked about. EcoWit, adding some moisture to this, adding some more soil. One plant, 1,000 watts of lights. Let's get it. Till next time, Gromies, much love and have a good night.